I think women are more likely to diminish a man's feelings than a man is to diminish a woman's. I say this because when men say that they feel disrespected, the first thing a woman does is we're like, well, no, there's no possible way, because if what we've done we don't deem to be disrespectful, there's no way that you feel disrespected. Just because what you're doing you don't think is disrespectful doesn't mean that you get to diminish when your husband says, I feel disrespected, because it doesn't make sense to you. And just because he's saying he feels disrespected doesn't mean that he's only saying it just because he wants to try to make you out to be the villain. Ask him to provide the things that you do, and ask him to tell you the things that you say that have made him feel disrespected, so that you can show up in a different way for him. You know, the Bible tells us in Ephesians the way that a man and a wife is supposed to love each other, right? The husband is supposed to love his wife as Christ loves the church, and as a woman we are to submit to our husbands and give them respect. And it's no coincidence that in marriage those are the very two areas that the enemy will target. As a woman, the enemy will use us, allowing us to be led by our emotions, so that the things that we say and the things that we do are disrespecting our husbands. Remember that you are a mirror to your husband, so if your husband feels disrespected, this means that a lot of the behavior that he's reflecting back to you will also mirror that disrespect. So if your husband has told you that he feels disrespected, it's time to sit down with him, have a conversation, pull out a piece of paper and say, babe, how can I show up for you better? And the farther you are away from embodying the feminine woman that God created you to be, the farther you are pushing your husband away from his masculine role. What you think is helping your marriage is actually diminishing your marriage and tearing your house down. So stop disrespecting your man.